line. Hey, the radio, big crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up.
Well, if you guys wanted to see something different, something a little more unique on PTM Racing TV, I think you guys got your wish. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to USA International Speedway, and today we present to you the Pro 2 Lights of Pushing Limits Racing League and their championship hunt for the runoff to the season's end here on PTM Racing TV. Hi, everyone. I am Christian Caceres-Shriver, and welcome to the show. We are ready to get it down to business here with my good friend and colleague, Kenneth Crawford. And Ken, as we start up our first lineup here tonight, this one should be a hot one, as we've got on the start here for Heat 1, Wally Babin at 0.99, and then Chantel Toronto rounding out on the top 2 with the 5 car. I think he might be having some technical difficulties down there. Next row then will be Stanley Pottle in the 48, and then Robert the Rattlesnake Khan will be in the 21, rounding out your field here tonight.
Yeah, I think this should be definitely a good one. You're going to see a lot of beating and banging tonight with these things. They definitely can take it.
Yeah, they certainly will. They're designed more for rallycross racing, obviously, but no one really ever tries to put them too much on the oval ends of the spectrum, and I think this is going to be an interesting playing field for a lot of these drivers, because now they're going up against with the track that, yeah, you know, really more designed, in my opinion, for the flat trafficking, hard racing of a dirt stock or a sprint car. You can get some late models to work okay out here, but I personally feel like when you're trying to talk about trucks that really usually you don't expect to be out in this kind of environment, this kind of landscape, I think it's a whole nother playing field and ball game, considering they went from Bristol Dirt now onto USA International, and USA is definitely a lot less banked than the other tracks you would see.
Yeah, it's definitely flat, and it's going to make for some pretty good racing here as we're getting ready to go green.
Yeah, we go green indeed here. We got some friends joining us in with Willie and Mann and Ken. Ken, you're on board right now in the comments section. UK, attention to that while we pay attention to the racing as well. On style here out of turn 1 here. They will slide him up high, bring him down low. Crossover already as the 5 Chantel Pottle just dives in deep and makes Wally Bab stick it in there.
Yeah, they're side by side going into this turn, and it looks like the low line's the favorable one here.
It is the favorite one so far, and the throttle Chantel Pottle is already muscling her might and muscling her way around. We go on board with her as she continues to work the rhythm. I'll tell you one thing, man, that camera we got inside now that actually sees what these drivers are up to, what they're doing, it is an incredible to see just how hard they're having to turn these trucks in, how to turn these cars, turn these vehicles around the track, and right now you're just seeing how difficult the track is, just how much they're having to hold on, really rear the throttle. It may be Pro 2 lights, and these things are the slower of the bunch when it comes to the other Pro 2, well, there comes Pro trucks, but man, they are working them in pretty good, I will say.
Yeah, definitely is number 21, Robert the Rattlesnake Khan, takes over that second position with a little bump and bang there.
He takes it over there from the 100% 099 there at the Jurassic Park, 21 ahead of the field. Meanwhile, they're still trying to hunt down that number 5 of the Paddle Racing Machine, Chantel Paddle, as she continues to hold the lead and hold the charge. But the Rattlesnake right now starting to build up a little bit of momentum off the bottom lane. He's got a good burst of speed up there. That's where you want to usually run him off at, but my question is, will he be able to get more going for him into the later half? Because once you get up to her, how are you going to pass her other than maybe having to stick your nose inside that sidewall?
Yeah, definitely, and I think it's a little bit different with these things. A lot of your usual dirt cars kind of just straight as you go, the faster you go, but they're throwing it pretty sideways here.
But you generally have to around here at USA, even with a dirt stock, you want to try to keep it as low to the bottom there and try to keep it more in bounds, so you're sliding it up the rear end a lot more and trying to keep it straight off exit. And that's exactly what the 5's been doing here, as well as the 21. But the 21, if you take a little bit of a notice here, you can see he's turning in slightly less, so he's not losing as much off exit as the 5 is, where the 5, she's getting a decent entry but a horrible mid-center, and then and unfortunately that causes for a tough little loose exit. And there's another spot right there. You can see her horrible apex and ends up getting a little bump there from Khan.
Yeah, it seemed he could get a little bit of momentum there. It looks like he's running a little bit more of a midline, and as she dives low there. But it looks like midway through the turn, Robert gets a little bit of a speed burst, like you were saying.
Yeah, it is a huge burst of speed there. Again, that's just kind of how USA works out. So it's basically a smaller version of Knoxville, as I've always liked to put it. You basically got to try to find your way more in dirt, more in rhythm. Yeah, you can see XG getting bumped around a little bit down there, but still hanging on. But until Khan decides to sneak around her.
Yeah, this track's a little bit unforgiving. If you mess up a little bit, such these long straights, and you lose momentum, you're definitely going to fall back pretty quick. But like you said, she's hanging on pretty good still.
Yeah, she certainly is indeed. The Rattlesnake right now has the race lead, though, taken away there from the 5, and I guarantee you that Chantel's probably remembering that for the feature. Maybe a little bit inexperienced right now with how the truck is handling, how it is going off on the corners here. Khan, not too much on that. He may be treating it more like a road course kind of style, where he's just making sure he doesn't let the rear end slide out too much as the white flag pops out for heat number 1.
As they both, looks like Chantel's kind of mirroring his line before, and it looks like she's gaining a little bit of ground, but I don't know if it's going to be enough for her to get that heat win.
No, this is not going to be enough here unless she gets a good turn 3 and 4. She's going to hold it down, though, and float it straight to its limit. Khan might get a bumper here. Doesn't look like it's going to happen just yet. Chantel looking to drive it harder off the exit than him. But out onto the front straightaway here. It's not enough. The Rattlesnake will take home heat number 1. Battle results popping in. Chantel second, third, Wally Babb fourth to Stanley Pottle. So everyone else will start in their individual positions and settle them up for the next round of racing. Here is the Pushing Limits Racing League results, though. Pop up on your screen for Heat 1. As you're seeing there, just Khan just completely downshifting and downsliding in there around Chantel. And the bump and run's definitely going to play a factor here for the long haul as we now present to you Heat number 2. On the pole, it'll be Ron Mans in the 13. It is outside Philip Brown, 17.
And in fourth position, I think. Oh, third position. Sorry, we got Keith Taylor and the number 72, Jeffrey Todd Tufts.
My end, I got Bob Hutchins in the 77, and then Todd Tufts on this one here, sir.
Oh, I got him backwards. Sorry, I'm messing all up tonight.
You're all right. I'll just make sure I take it away from your paycheck later.
Oh man.
First time ever, though, we've seen Ron Mans on the show here. He is a new driver to the list.
See a little bit of an older familiar face is the 77 of Bob Hutchings.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he plays this out and how he does a few things here. So feel
any early heat race predictions here?
You know, it's gonna be kind of hard without Ron Mans kind of popping in. I'm honestly kind of looking more at Philip Brown as kind of the favorite. He is our only American in this one. 2 Canadians going at it. Todd Tufts is probably, if I had to guess, maybe the second favorite out of the bunch here. Bob Hutchins, I haven't seen him on dirt before. We know he's good on asphalt, so just going off experience in the playing field, it might be a different here.
As we get the green going here, we have the number 77 of Bob Hutchins going down low.
He goes down low, sees where this one goes. He'll have to fight off Philip Brown out of the gate here. Todd Tuss leaking it in.
Yeah, as number 22 follows closely, it looks like he's going to maybe capitalize a little bit, go low, and take away that position for second as he slides up high there.
Yeah, he slides up there right now. The 17 of Philip Brown trying to catch back up to him, trying to do what Robert Kahn did earlier on.
Yeah, I think a big key to this track too is going to be a lot of consistency and just hitting your marks as usual on dirt. But these things tend to be pretty straight. They handle pretty well. So.
Yeah, right now, man, I'm trying to figure out like if I'm gonna see if later on if they will be able to kind of muster up some speed, some runoff. Because we've seen it here where, you know, it was earlier on, you saw the Rattlesnake and the Pot Chantel end up just having two different lines, two different sets, and you can see even already Bob Hutchins trying to be a little bit more conservative in his turns and a little bit more on the nose. But, you know, right now, it may be a little bit of a different playing field.
Yeah, it looks like Bob Hutchins has a little slip up there, and Philip Brown's going to, I think, take that position from him. I don't know, as they drag race it down here to the straight.
Takes it down to the straight, takes him in for a little curve end, and Philip Brown, I mentioned earlier on, one of the guys I'd keep my eye on. He's already making his way in and moving up the field. Track zone gets a good run off there and hangs it in right to his 1-2.
Looks like number 77 has a little speed, though. Looks like he has to check up a bit because they both go low as he gets in the bumper there a little bit.
Yeah, we were talking about earlier. You better be best believing these guys will take a bumper or two and they'll have a little fun of this. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely, these trucks will definitely take it.
And I just now realized as well here, folks, that our thing was not popping up the way it's supposed to. I apologize, guys.
It's a pretty close battle up here for the first position for this heat race. It looks like Bob Hutchins isn't really losing too much speed off.
He's not losing too much speed. He's not giving up too much down on the track here. See if we get the technical difficulties figured out. There we go. Finally got him up and running. Bob Hutchins now trying to build up speed around to the 17. As currently Philip Brown having a little bit of an internet connection issue down there, but seems to be doing okay. We'll see if that plays into a factor later on.
As we go back here to the to Jeffrey Todd Duff's number 72, it looks like he just hasn't really figured it out yet, but maybe he can come back and get it a little bit figured out.
2 laps remaining here. Philip Brown still your race leader. He's been looking for a first win here on Pushing Limits Racing League. He's came close there in pedal the metal, but he's got a few really just heartbreaking performances that he's been stuck with in his mind. And he said earlier today, I would like to change that and make sure that I can show I can really run it with these guys out here. And he is definitely out to prove something, but I feel like more than anything, it's just really going to be about our control and consistency. As the white flag pops out, you see that flag flying high in the air.
Yeah, it looks like number 77 of Bob Hutchins kind of tries to take a little high line there, see if he can gain some speed. It doesn't seem like it's working too well just yet, though. No, I wouldn't count it out just yet. No,
I would say later on when they trigger into the A main, that top side will burn up enough where you actually get more runoff there. A lot of guys like to try to work it on the bottom as long as they can, but once the high side comes in, you actually can build up a pretty good little slingshot, in fact, up on the area. But for the 17, Philip Brown, he'll take home this one, and heat number 2 goes to him. Second will go to Bob Hutchins. Third to Todd Tuss. Ron Mance not able to make the call. So heat number 2 is now in the books here. Results popping up on your screen here, race fans, as we continue on with our showcase here. Philip Brown wins it. Bob Hutchins second, third to Todd Tuss. Ron Mance going fourth. Here's your final lineup here for the race here tonight. And on the pole, it'll be Eric G. Gann in the 51, then Keith Checkmate Taylor in the 08.
And as we got in third place, we got Matthew Hoffer, and then the number 69 of Nick Kern rounds out that heat race.
Rounds out our heat race, ready to get up to heat number 3. Time to get down to business at this time. I still am having technical difficulties. These Gretsch Graphic Gremlins just love to mess with me tonight. I'm almost guaranteeing it. There we go. I think we got it fixed up now. Let's see if we fixed up the mix-up puzzle here that these gremlins seem to keep fighting at me.
Yeah, looks like we have a little problem down there on the track. I don't think Nick Kern can get that truck started there. Now, as we go into this heat, the third and final heat of the race tonight, I think that the number 51 Eric G. Gann is going to be one to watch. As I was watching him practice, and he seemed pretty fast and had it figured out pretty well.
Yeah, he certainly had a fast time earlier on. Nick Kern was a close second, but it looks like the start there for Nick Kern is going to end up costing him dearly. 51 of it, Eric G. Gann already on the pole on the start. Gets a good run off as a 08 Caterpillar machine there. Key Checkmate Taylor tries to fight him in on the outside.
Making that midline work again. Maybe you can drive it off the exit of this turn, as the number 51 though takes the lead pretty early.
He does indeed, takes the lead earlier on, but again, you know, for Checkmate, I got a feeling that he's gonna be paying close attention to what a lot of these guys are doing. A little less experience on dirt, more experience towards the asphalt side of things, but can't count him out. Obviously, he'll put up a fight when he has to.
Yeah, it could kind of work to his advantage with the asphalt experience. This track is kind of long and straight, and you almost have to somewhat treat it like a pavement track, since it's so flat too.
I don't know, really got to treat it more like a pavement track. I feel like more than anything, you just kind of got to treat it with more respect than anything. You gotta really try to make sure you don't over accelerate, you don't get too loose into the entries, which seems easier said than done, I know, but when you got a track that's burnt in like this, and I obviously will get cleaned up coming into the feature, that will make a big difference for the later on, because I feel like that's where you're going to see most of the drivers have really a showcase of their speed and power as well as control over the others, as 84 Matthew Hoffer takes it away from Keith. But you know, for Keith, I think his biggest thing is really, you know, how will he fare, you know, when he gets onto the fresh and then goes on to the burn again, because we know he can wheel a car on asphalt and paved, but for guys like Eric G. Gann, even a little bit more of Matthew Hoffer these days, they both have learned how to really manipulate and control the dirt, obviously from their championship wins they've got on the series.
Absolutely. Once you get into that slick, you know as well as I do, it's a whole different ball game, that's for sure, especially as we go back to our last race in the Dirt League. Once that track got slicked over, it is definitely difficult to run.
It's extremely difficult to run, because it's really, you got to remember, folks, it's basically you're trying to basically muscle a whole car or truck around an area and surface, while still trying to figure out how to catch your slide and how to catch your timing at the right place at the right time to stay in rhythm and stay in motion. It sounds like a lot, but really, once you get the routine of it down, then it starts to kind of become more natural and second nature. And that's been the one thing that a lot of folks always talk about when they're out here racing on dirt, is just trying to get more second nature with the field.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as time goes on, it becomes second nature. That's, in my opinion, the best thing you can do is just practice, practice, practice. There's nothing better, you know, especially on a rubbered over track.
Absolutely there. Right now, Key Checkmate Taylor is still trying to muster up some kind of run, some kind of momentum boost up to the 51 and the 84. As the 84 of Hoffer, it gets extremely loose coming off that exit. Keith almost gave him a little love tap for his troubles. Both drivers keeping it clean though with only 2 to go. We have 1 lap remaining this next time by.
Yeah, as Keith Checkmate Taylor, he's pulling out everything he can do out of the book to see if he can't get around him, but I don't think it's going to work for him.
I don't see it working indeed either. Eric G. Gann, though, better be careful. A little bobble into the wall there, almost sending him completely off cliff, and the MR Customs 51 has the white flag finally back out. Hoffer is going to have to use what he learned here from this one, though, and be very careful. EDA may when they start to burn up on him, because if he keeps opening doors like that, he's not going to catch Con or Chipotle. They were very smart earlier on about how they manipulated the turn, but out of 3 into 4, Eric G. again looks to be possibly the stone cold favorite here, because he is giving these guys quite the run, quite the headache. He wins Heat 3 handedly.
Absolutely. I think this is going to shape up to be a pretty good feature tonight.
It will indeed. Warm up now underway. Track has cleared up, so they will let them bolster it in and burn it up a little bit, and then it'll be time to get to the action here. But let's take a look at our Heat 3 results now popping up on your screen. Star-studded lineup coming up out here for the warm-ups. Aaron G. Gando comes away the winner in Heat 3. Second goes to Hoffert. Third to Keith Taylor. And the rest of the field, as we are finishing up the warm-ups already, they're going to skip that and head straight for the A main event. And here we go. All right, Ken. We got a lineup here, my friend. We've got a big fight coming on our hands as well. Let's take a look at it. On the pole, Robert the Rattlesnake Colby, the 21 is outside. That's Philip Brown, the 17.
And third position, we have the number 5, Chantel Pottle. In the fourth position, we have Matthew Hoffert.
Row number 2 is going, or excuse me, 3 is going to be Bob Hutchings in the 77, and then Hoffert actually will be in the 84. Gann will be in the 51 with Pottle on the outside of him.
As we go down, you're going to take this one away, bud.
All right, row 4 is going to be Wally Babb, and the 099 is outside. The 72, Jeffrey Todd Tufts. Row number 5 is going to be Cheek Checkmate Taylor. In the 08 is outside. That is Stanley Pottle in the 48. Row 16 is Ron Mans in the 13. Final starter in this field, Nick Kern in the number 69. Race fans, time to get your cameras out. Time to get your phones high in the air. Get your laptops up and running, because we've got a race here down at USA International Speedway. 12 drivers are locked and loaded with a 30-lap A main event coming your way.
Yeah, it's a pretty star-studded lineup we got going on here. And as early of his problems as one of the favorites for tonight, Nick Kern starting from the back. He's definitely got his work cut out for him.
Also joining in the comment section here tonight, William Mann Jr. You'll hear about him coming up in the next race coming up. But no, that's for the record, folks. Ron Mans is not the man beast. Let's just get that out of the way. So, Papa Man, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the man beast is not in this race. Trust me, we've already talked to him about it. Had to double check on that too, because obviously the man's name gets kind of confusing. As our pace truck will bring him off one more time around. The race fans, they want to see you. They want to see you watching. They want to see you staring. They want to give you a show. They came from all different parts to do just that and then some. A whole list of drivers in this field and in this showcase here. There are so many greats and so many tough talents that are looking to build off their run and build the momentum to showcase what they can do on multiple series, multiple tracks, multiple vehicles. And I don't think you can ask for a better show and landscape with the Pushing Limits series here in this one.
Absolutely. As we were pacing around here, getting ready to go green, the nerves are going a little bit for everybody. And get to see what's going to happen off this start.
Bring them off the line through the chicanes to 3 into 4. This time by. Let the field set the tone. Let the drivers bring the madness. It's Pro 2 lights at USA. Here we go. And this turn right here is already going to tell me just how tough these drivers are going to handle this track here tonight. Everybody goes in deep, some going wider than the other, and oh my, losing positions already. Some drivers getting a little too aggressive out of the gate. Losing weight, going way too high instead of staying towards the bottom, but the field manages to stay clean, proverbially anyway.
Absolutely, as you're seeing different lines working out here with more cars in the track, obviously it's going to make for a little bit more difficult stuff as you hear bumpers.
Whoa! It's Stanley Pottle there in the 48. He ends up getting a little too aggressive down there, smacks the wall down into turn 3. No caution, though, only one involved, so no need for it. Lining it back around, and Todd Tufts gets a piece there from Key Checkmate Taylor. Unfortunately, the 8 gets a little toe tapping right in between.
I think we're going to hold this one out green, though, I think.
I think they're going to here, but nevertheless, Stanley Pottle making his way around Todd Tufts. We'll take a look at what happened here, though, to the 72. It might have been just kind of a bad spot there. He found himself in where with Key Checkmate Taylor. Todd drove it up hard, and you can see, I think he was maybe expecting Keith to back off a little bit, but Keith couldn't get it straightened out, and both drivers getting caught up in a bit of a mixed bag area there. Field working their way around back to the live feed we go, and now it's a battle for the race lead. Oh, whoa, ho, ho!
Got a car upside down.
Oh! It was upside down. The 5 Chantel Bottle nearly clipping everything in between. A huge battle settling fourth up front right now between the 51 and 21. Eric G. and Robert Kahn, but I'm kind of curious as well to know what happened to the throttle Chantal Bottle, considering where she was at in that position. Producers get to work down there quickly. We gotta see this one. Here is the PTM Instant Replay, folks. Look at this. Maybe just drove it a little too tight. Wally Babb. Oh, you can see actually the 5 actually kind of drove it up a little bit. She almost ended up completely on her lid, but you can just see the nature of these Pro 2 lights. They can give you a bit of a break and a little bit of a hand once in a while to get back in position. Thankfully for her, she was able to succeed in that and get a little bit lucky, but how much that luck is going to translate over catching back up to the field, only time will tell. But right now, your battle is between for the 3 drivers up front, Philip Brown, Robert Kahn, and Eric G. Gann.
Absolutely, as they're going side by side. I've been watching this battle heating up here as Kahn goes a little bit high there and see if number 51 Eric Gann can stick his nose in.
Yeah, for Gann right now, I got a feeling that he's more focused on just trying to accentuate his strengths on the dirt and really showcase his power on the track. For Philip Brown, this is a moment of really just trying to show he can do multiple tracks, multiple series, and get his win in. He's had multiple finishes in the top 3, good podiums as well, but never a W here on this track. And, you know, for a guy like him, I got a feeling that's been kind of weighing on him just a little bit out there.
Absolutely, is this battle for second and third and fourth is Bob Hutchins is creeping his way up there too a little bit.
Bob is indeed creeping his way up a little bit. He's actually getting quite a bit of run and boost off there. You can see him getting bumped and beaten and backed around there. That truck is just getting wheeled off so hard. Again, these things, suspensions and all that, they're not built for ovals, obviously. They're more built for road courses, so they're a lot looser and a lot softer. But in my opinion, it also makes it a lot more fun because that means you can pretty much kind of put your truck in between one another and bump and bang off a lot harder. And you can't say that ain't short track racing because it's definitely short track racing with these things.
Absolutely, with these things, as we've seen, when they almost have the ability, you can roll them and flip them back over and you can keep going.
Yeah, indeed. We saw that with Chantal Bottle just a minute ago. Tony Westcott coming on board saying, "Love, this is definitely new and interesting. Like it so far." Yes, it is, my friend, and certainly appreciate you coming on board to check it out. Again, folks, if you are tuning in for the first time, first off, thanks so much, and we hope you enjoy the show. But if you like what you see, like and follow us on Facebook, head to our YouTube, subscribe there. You'll see this race in its entirety there as well as coming up here in just a minute, the Green Mountain Grill Fast Fun Truck Series down at Milwaukee Mile. Been a while since we've seen that old track here, but it will be nice to visit one of the land of cheese's homelands.
You go back here to the race. This battle for first, second, and third, it's not really changing too much. It's staying pretty hot this entire time.
Go ahead, adjust your television screens as well, folks. We know there's a little bit of dirt on that front helmet, or if you will, the visor with Eric G. Gann. That's what these drivers are seeing out there. This isn't a little, fun little gamer tool. This is literally legit. They will be seeing dirt flying into their screens, flying in their face, and it gets into their way all the time. And Robert Kahn smells a little blood in the water there from Philip. Philip giving him quite an opening there. Oh, and yeah, he just snuck his way right in, puts a bumper and a sides panel in there. 3 wide just for a brief moment coming down the line.
That's a good thing about these. You can give them the bumper, as you see the number 51, Eric G. Gann give Robert Rattlesnake Kahn a little bit of a bumper there as they're coming back to the front stretch.
Kahn's a bit in trouble here. He knows he's got to have to defend off 3 lines to help him out because the bottom lane is currently giving him the most move and momentum. But if someone does think about going to the outside, he could have took it away from him there. But the problem is now Philip Brown dealing with Gann's added troubles and pressure. Both of these drivers continuing to push him in.
Yeah, the 21 Robert Rattlesnake Kahn, I think he'd be pretty happy to see people back there beating and banging too, so he can run away with a little bit. As you've seen in the heats, that kind of works out in their favor.
It certainly does indeed here, and I'm just kind of trying to see more or less whether or not this will be kind of a substantial situation where every driver ends up finding themselves on the receiving end of the old bump and runs, the bump and bang in corners. Philip Brown seems to be hanging in there, though, despite the fact he's been kind of caught off guard a few times. Robert Kahn obviously has got a couple of championships in his name, more so than most people you see here on PTM Racing TV, but he has said earlier on that he would love to get one on the push limit side because it really showcases he can race any kind of series, any kind of terrain and track with no troubles whatsoever.
Absolutely, yeah, that's what this league is about, is just adapting to what get thrown at you, you know, and these guys and girls are definitely good.
They certainly are indeed here. Ken and Gann still looking to gain more momentum. He's actually built up a lot of speed there to the 21. Might be working a little bit of that draft line off from the straights to help actually build a little bit of a cleaner air when you get behind somebody. If you can lock your front bumper over that rear bumper, it's not a big difference, but it does make a bit of a difference. It can actually help you build just a slight bit more speed on the straights, and then it's all about our cornering on how to catch back up to them. That's exactly what's happening here. Stanley Powell trying to stay outside, stay out of the way of the leaders. Folks trying to avoid and escape his clutches here. Again, certainly was one of them. Kondo ended up driving a little too hard there into the entry. Actually gave a slight opening to Gann, and he's already making him pay for it coming up that exit.
Yeah, and as you said, that draft, that may not be that much, but it might just work just enough for here, too. Because it looks like he's inching up to him every lap we go.
Michael Vineyard saying, tell Wally to go from Vineyard. Wally, Vineyard, no problem there. We'll actually go on board here with old Wally Babb. So you can see that he is trying to put some venom into these boys, as you can tell by the suit and design there. You can just see right here, this onboard camera here, Ken. You can see those tires. You can see the way they're having to pursue off the corners, off the clutches, and it's extremely difficult to wheel around such heavy artillery equipment while also trying not to damage up too much on the track as well as themselves.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see that in-car view there, as that shows how much muscle they're putting into it and how focused they are, for sure.
Definitely in this case right now, the 51, Eric G. Gann and Robert Kahn still in a heated battle right in the back of the pack here. Those that are still somehow moving, the 5 Chantel Pato, Keith Checkmate Taylor. Got caught off bad spots earlier. Todd Tutt's way behind the field, and Stanley Pato actually still ahead of him. Matthew Hoppert, if he can find a way somehow to catch up to the rest of the field here, he might have a chance actually taking on some of the guys in the top 5. Actually, Wally Babb, Bob Hutchins, and all of them, they are all in somewhat positions to actually take away from the guys up front. They're not exactly let off from this position here yet.
Absolutely not. As the laps wind down, as we get down here to the end, something they could beat and bang, and somebody back there could definitely benefit from just watching, you know.
Yes, indeed. Westcott even coming on board saying been back in the day when Waddell Jr. raced the AC Delco number 3 here at USA. For those at home that do not know, unfortunately, USA International Speedway has been torn down and destroyed about a couple of years ago. But it was a track that really did a lot of testing, a lot of stuff down there. And, you know, for the Cup cars, next gen, not necessarily next gens, but the other kind of gen bodies and other kind of cars we had on the circuit, that was one of their testing facilities. It is sad to see it go, but it is kind of what it is, unfortunately, with our clay and age. As you see right now, Wally Babb in 099 going right up to Bob Hutchins, gets him out of the way and says, hey man, I would like to have a little battle here, you know.
Yeah, definitely. He's trying to throw everything he can. As you see him throwing in there hard down low. He's throwing literally everything in the book at him to try and catch him. It just doesn't seem like he's gaining too much.
Yeah, I just don't see him giving up too much, not getting too much in there either. But Hofford, actually, because those two battling out as much as they do, he's actually starting to make a little bit of a head comeback here. Trying to put the old red, white, and blue to good use here.
Ooh, there's the mess up there.
There's a mess up indeed. Robert Kahn opens the door. Eric G. Gann now takes full advantage. 9 to go.
Yes, that cost him 2 positions there. That's what I said. That you know, you get nervous up front, you can mess up, you can bobble a little bit, and it definitely happened to Robert Kahn there.
Here's the instant replay of what happened here while we were focused on Matthew Hofford. Watch again as he goes straight down for the kill switch here. Kahn opens the door. And you can see Kahn just drove it way too hard, and you can actually see the whole front end lift up. How he was able to keep it back on all 4 wheels, God help me there. But man, did he hang in there, and he's still giving her everything she's got, but the time is running out. And with Philip Brown, the only driver left to really take down Gann, will he be able to do it?
Yeah, definitely. It looks like he's breaking away here a little bit. I don't know if Robert Kahn or Philip Brown are going to have enough time to catch him, but I mean, I wouldn't count the number 17 out still. He's gaining on him a little bit, but I don't know. If he stays consistent like he has been this entire race, I think it might be wrapped up. Someone's
got to give, someone's got to quit. 7 to go here right now, leading him into the field. We have not had a single caution this entire race, and for 30 laps on dirt, pretty impressive, I would say, and definitely really mustering up a major challenge down here.
Yeah, definitely. It's just a testament to these drivers. They definitely held it together for this race, that's for sure.
Yes, indeed. Now look at this, Philip Brown still trying to get somewhat of that bottom line to work in his favor, but Gann still continues to hang in there. A little bit of a bobble there on the internet-wise. May have stretched him out just a slight bit, with Philip now looking for another opening. We've had 3 lead changes between these 3 drivers, and the fact they're still so close together, so connected, really just to me shows me what these Pro 2 lights can do and what they can pedal out for a finish.
Yeah, definitely. As it looks like number 51, Eric Gann, goes down pretty low to block it. It looks like Philip Brown's trying to go as low as he can, and that might be his move, but I think Gann's is going to use it basically the same line, so there's not much he can really do there.
Yeah, but if you get a little too low there, we kind of told him what Khan did earlier. You end up smacking that wall, and these front ends, once they hit that wall protection, the suspension just lifts up like does a wheelie or trying to just get off the ground. That's the last place you want to get stuck into, and right now Brown, I think, is very well aware of that, but Khan, he knows if he doesn't do something soon, he might be in trouble.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to have to do something here pretty quick as the laps wind down.
Final laps coming up here, 4 to go. Right now, Gann is starting to slowly pull away. The last time he went around that spot, he actually gained about got about a 10th on him, nearly another 10th on him coming off, so about 2 tenths gain for Gann to stay ahead of Brown. Brown, if he's going to make a move, he needs to start figuring out a way to catch his bumper, because this is not looking good.
No, not at all. I think he's number 51's kind of running away with it here. It just proves you got to be consistent, smooth, and hit your marks, and he's been doing it all night.
He has indeed. Final 3 remaining. 51 of Eric G. Gann, man, talk about hammering the push and limit and give it everything he's got. He is certainly living up to the nickname, pushing your racing limit lead, and this is what it's all about here. But look at 17 of Philip Brown. He actually got a little bit of on there in the straight, but he's going to get it back in the turn. That remains to be questionable because he just does not seem to be hitting the same exits that Gann's did, and that's why it's been such a difference here as we're down to the final 2.
Yeah, definitely. It looked like he's just staying smooth, and I just don't think Philip Brown has too much for him unless something drastic happens here.
I mean, Philip is literally getting him on the straights just by about a 100th of a second. But again, you need about a 3/10. You need about 3 more tenths, and then you can actually start to really put something to Gann's mind, and that's not looking to be the case with the white flag popping on out.
Yeah, definitely is number 21 of Robert Railson back there. That's just unfortunate, that little bobble there. That just kind of messed him up pretty good. I
think it did indeed here. Gann has almost kind of locked this one up. He just needs to get across the straightaway. Zero down the backstretch one more time. And the MR Custom 51 of Eric G. Gann has pretty much shown he can wheel and deal it on dirt, and there's a reason why. He's a former champion on the Dirt Series. This is going to be win number 1 push limits for Eric G. Gann this season in the Pro 2 lights.
Absolutely. What a well-run race there, too. Consistent, all that. It definitely won it for him there.
It did indeed. What a tremendous showcase and sport and maneuver there. Pulled off all the stops and pulled off a big W when I feel like he needed it most here.
Yeah, that's just a testament to everybody, too. I think pretty much everybody held a pretty good race tonight, too, so I wouldn't say anything bad about anybody else. It was just Eric was very fast tonight. There wasn't too much you could do about it.
Wasn't really anything you could do about it. Everyone had a clean race, and some getting into the wall, getting flagged in around here, and it just goes to show you just how tough these drivers come from the Pedal to Metal Racing League as well as Pushing Limits Racing League. But at the end of the day, man, they walk away with the victory here, and that will end up taking us to our top 3 talks here in just a moment. Here's your final results here. And this is how it all plays out. Eric G. Gann, your winner. 2nd goes to Philip Brown. 3rd to Robert Kahn. 4th to Matthew Halbert. 5th to Bob Hutchins. 6th to Wally Babs. 7th to Chantel Pottle. 8th to Keith Taylor. 9th to Stanley Pottle. 10th to Jeffrey Todd Tufts. 11th to Nick Kern. 12th to Ron Mans. And 13th to Ken Crawford. Well, Crawford, what are you doing down on the results here?
Yeah, sorry, bud. I had to mess with you there a little bit. You know how I am.
I'll have to deal with you later. Anyway, I'm going to head down to the dock with the top 3 here. Good to hear from you again, though, bud, and we will see you next time on out.
Yes, sir. See you next week.
Certainly indeed. All right, real quick, let's head on down here. Let's talk with our finishers. We'll start it up with Robert the Rattlesnake Khan. He joins me here, your third place finisher here tonight. And Khan, you know, this was probably one of the harder tracks for your season, your race here, considering you ended up getting into the wall protection. What happened there in turn 3 and 4? Khan, you got a copy? I swear, man, I can never get these guys to work on their mics when I need them to. It just seems like they always have some kind of problem down there. Okay, Robert, you got a copy, sir? Okay, does not have a copy in the moment. Let's try talk with our winner here. Let's see if we can get him in first. All right, Gan, you got a copy? Okay, I'm gonna try something here. Gan, got a copy? Yep, you got me?
Gotcha.
All right, there he is. Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner here tonight at U.S. International Speedway, Eric G. Gannon. You know, for a track that really has been more known for the dirt late models, sprint cars, and the dirt stocks, you certainly seem to show that the Pro 2s can put up a fight here as well.
Oh, yeah, the Pro 2s are fun on the ovals.
Yeah, it seemed like that was the case here. Obviously, a little bumping and banging there, and Khan gave you a big opening, to say least, and helped you out. So, what was the big thing that helped get you this one?
Just staying consistent. So I was following Con there for a while, and I was watching his lines, and then he kind of was just running the same line as everybody else, and one little mistake, and you had a groove, and you was getting past. At the first, I got freight trained by them too, and I was like, well, I got to stay here and stay smooth, and I was just taking my time and waiting for one of them to make a mistake just to get around.
Yeah, that certainly was the case, and certainly the situation here. But nevertheless, you are going to be a race winner here tonight at Pushing Limits Racing League for the U.S. International Speedway Showcase of Pro 2s. Who do you want to thank you for this one?
Thank you guys for hosting PTM and Pushing Limits Racing League, and also the group that I hang around with, the Dirtbag group.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, congratulations, Eric G. Gann. Great to see you back here in the podium in the winner's circle tonight at USA.
Thank you.
Your race winner tonight here, ladies and gentlemen, Eric Gann, as we now join in with Philip Brown here. And Philip, this was more or less kind of a tender kind of race. You had a good start and a good run in the later half, but that mid-pack kind of slowed you down a little bit and caught you in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, a little bit, man. I knew once I got to the outside, I was going to be in a little bit of trouble. And luckily, I only fell back a couple spots. I was able to maintain that inside and gain a couple back when the guys were able to slip up. I knew it was going to be real slippery. Later on in practice, I was one of the quicker drivers. And throttle control was huge here.
Yeah, I know how that was. Honestly, I went down there and tested these things out before you guys even got into the trucks here tonight, and they were a lot looser than I expected for a track like this. But at the same time, they were very under control and very rhythmic. So the fact you were able to get that rhythm down and get this truck to really wheel in certainly showed you can definitely do a lot more than just run on asphalt.
Oh, I definitely appreciate it, man. I'm trying to cross over into rallycross and trucks and stuff like that too. So I think I've been doing a lot more driving in other series, and it's really starting to pay off. I'm really starting to get some good results in all of my races.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, at the end of the day, man, you got yourself some big moments coming up and a second place finish. Who do you want to thank you tonight?
I just want to thank everybody at PTM TV for putting us on, man. You do great broadcasts. I want to thank Chantel for letting us run this, and I want to thank everybody that came out to view this. This was one of the funnest races I've been a part of.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, Philip, congratulations on that second place finish, and good to see you back on a podium position, sir.
Thank you, buddy. Good night, guys.
You too. Ladies and gentlemen, Philip Brown coming his way from out of town. All right, and we'll take now, listen in. The Rattlesnake now joins me in here, our last driver of the night, and Robert, you know, you could have been pretty much the guy everyone was trying to knock down and win off of, but instead, turn 4 ends up catching you. What happened there? And looks like we're still having some troubles down here, apparently. Let's just go ahead, talk down with him, see if maybe we can figure this out here. God, you got a copy at all? I swear, guys, we do not try to make these audio issues happen all the time. I think Archon just does not know how to get
go.
There he goes. You got it?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, go ahead. And did you hear anything I said earlier?
No, I don't know why I didn't. Anyway, no, I didn't hear you.
All right, so you ended up having a bit of a bad break there coming in turn 4, a little troubles to say the least. What happened down there?
You have to get so close to the wall when you're leaving the entrance, and you just clip it a little bit to set me right up the track. But you know what, a third place finish, you know, I'm happy with it, especially for a points day. You know, I can't complain about that.
Certainly there, but nevertheless, a lot going on, a lot at stake here. Obviously, some plenty of big races and moments you've put through this weekend and this week so far. So as you finish this one out, who do you want to thank here tonight?
I'd like to thank Jurassic Park for being on the car today, InGen, people who made the dinosaurs, and everyone who broadcasts and does everything with the league. It's we got a fantastic league going, and it's a lot of fun to show up every week.
Certainly there. Well, nevertheless, congratulations here, Robert, on your finish, and we'll see you next time out, sir.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, your finisher here tonight with the rattlesnake, Robert Kahn. That'll all but do it here tonight for the USA. We're off to the Milwaukee Mile. We will see you there in a little bit, but if you enjoyed your show, you know what to do. Subscribe on YouTube, like and follow us on Facebook. See you guys in a little bit. Green Mountain Grill is coming up next.